Hello, good evening, everybody. This is Puxley here today with Scott and Luke to talk about the Nintendo Indie World Showcase, which happened yesterday. Flap can't be with us today, unfortunately, because he is celebrating his daughter's 15th birthday today. So it's only going to be the pair of us, the three of us, sorry. And let's jump right into it. So I'll quickly do the introductions, although I'm pretty sure most of you know who the GPG crew are by now. But Scott, I'll go in order. Scott, hello, good evening. How are you doing?
Evening, Pucks. I'm very well, thank you very much. Looking forward to chatting some indie games from the Nintendo Showcase with you both. It's pretty cool to be able to do something a little different to the Sunday podcast. So yeah, really excited to see what everyone thinks, and hopefully a few people in chat will let us know what they think as well.
Yeah, definitely. And you did the live reaction on the Indie Gamers show, right? How was that?
I did, yeah. So it's interesting because I've done two live streams with Indie now. The first one was the ID at Xbox showcase, which we might touch on towards the end, actually, when maybe we look at the two side by side, which was a lovely 4-hour stream. Thankfully, this one was a hell of a lot shorter, so it was a little bit nicer just to sit back and, the 20 minutes absolutely flew by, and then, catch up with everyone afterwards, see how they thought. So, it's always good to hang out with Indy. Obviously, if you want to see the live reactions, then please check out his channel. But obviously, we'll be chatting about what we thought today as well.
Yeah, fantastic. So, this will only be about a 30-minute show today, so you won't be able to wait in your seat for too long. and finally, Luke. Good evening, Luke. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to revisiting this again because obviously I watched it live yesterday. Really enjoyed it. Nice and short and sweet. So much better than the Xbox One. I guess everybody will agree this is how you should do these sort of things.
Yes.
And yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, I guess let's jump straight in. So we've just kind of missed the trailer on the screen now, actually. But the first game which was shown was a game called Road 96, which I found very interesting because it kind of looked like you had like certain decisions you'd make, and that kind of affects the storyline of who you meet and what happens. I found that quite intriguing. Yeah. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I think it looked cool. Is it? I think it's like procedural, isn't it? Like there's a lot of procedural storytelling in it, or something to that effect. They were talking about it during the stream, how there were kind of these thousands upon thousands of permutations for how the story will go, etc., or how the route you will take, the roads you'll take. So I thought it looked really cool, really interesting, quite unique.
It kind of I got like almost like Firewatch vibes in a way, just from how it graphically looks style. And the hitchhiking element of it. I thought that really cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I like the look of it. Some of the combat, if you can call it combat, looked a bit quirky. I couldn't tell exactly what they were shooting at the car that was chasing them. But obviously, they spoke about it during the little pitch by the developers. They spoke about all the different options that you might have, and it sounds like obviously everyone who plays it will likely get a slightly different version of the story that they're trying to tell, which is always cool when everyone gets something a little bit different. They get their own story. So yeah, like the look of it. It would be interesting to check that out when it comes out.
Yeah, definitely. Fortunately, I think it's got a summer 2021 release at the moment, so not too long to wait for this one. But what we're seeing on screen now is obviously what the next title. The guy in front of us goes by the handle of Aerial Knight, and he's releasing his own game, Aerial Knight's Never Yield, which, as you can see, is almost like a 2D parkour. A 3D side-scrolling parkour game, which again, I always find these ones kind of interesting as well, especially when they're made by like small teams of people. But almost like is it the Runner series, if I remember correctly? It kind of gives me that kind of vibe.
No, go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say this was actually one of my sort of picks of the show. Actually, there was just something about the art style that was on show, and the music in particular I really liked. And it seems like a game that you'd be able to just pick up and play for maybe 5-10 minutes at a time, when you've got a quick break. I think, and it might actually be coming to mobile, I'm not too sure, but I really do think this would be a great game for mobile, just something that's fairly simple to control. But the art style was pretty cool. The music was really good as well. So looking forward to checking this out. And Aerial Knight came across really well on the stream. Actually, he seemed like a really cool guy, and his story sounds quite interesting as well. So definitely worth checking that one.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's the one thing
Yeah.
I like about these shows and most of the other ones is that you kind of actually see the people behind it, and they actually give them that moment to kind of we can see what they're like, and kind of you grab their personality from it, don't you? And it just kind of you can see how passionate they are about their titles, which I think is really a really good thing for Nintendo to do in these showcases.
Yeah.
There's actually a demo which I've up now, actually, as it says on the
yes.
screen, which I played for this on Switch, obviously, and it's really fun, actually, especially if you go to the kind of hardcore mode, which stops all the slowdown and stuff like that. But the music's really cool, and as you say, Scott, it must be coming to mobile because it literally just uses the D-pad on the Switch.
Yeah.
That's all it uses.
There was a mobile game on mobile that I used to play a lot that I can't remember what it was called. I don't know if you guys have played it. It was kind of like black and white. It had a really simplistic art style, and it was sort of set in a 2D sort of urban environment. One of the first mobile games I remember seeing where it recommended you play with headphones. And it reminded me like of a 3D, more colorful version of that, which was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to check that out. I think if it comes on mobile, I'll probably get it there because it'll be great, to play that. Just pick up my phone when I've got 10 minutes. So
yeah, definitely. So on screen now we've got I think this is called Last Stop is what that one was, which looks really interesting. 3 games, 3 character stories kind of intertwined, and graphically I was really impressed with it as well. Kind of looks like it could be a completely like a CGI movie, so to speak, from what I could see. I thought that was really impressive.
Yeah, they showed that off at the ID at Xbox show, and in my opinion, it was a really, really bad showing of that game. And they did like a gameplay demo of it that really, in my opinion, didn't show off what that game would be like, because obviously you've got choices to make, and in the ID at Xbox demo, there was just like a little bit too much time between what it was showing you and then the decision being made and then it moving on. It really didn't work for me in that setting. But I thought the trailer that they showed here was fantastic. It got me really, really excited for this game again, because that demo really did sort of make me worry a little bit about the game. So I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, I get what you mean there as well about the Xbox show. I remember seeing that and thinking almost like a similar thing, that I'm not sure what this game is, but whatever they did differently on this one, just showing a bit of extra gameplay, it definitely kind of got me more excited for it. And equally, as we've just missed on the trailer as well, the game called Hindsight, another game which looks graphically pretty fantastic from what I can tell. It's more simplistic and more basic in its colours, but I think that kind of sells the aesthetic really well. And the gameplay looks interesting as well, like a mixture of almost like What Remains of Edith Finch. It kind of reminds me of in terms of how it looks, how it looks like it plays. I think it looks really interesting there. So right now we're looking. Yeah, sorry, go on, Scott.
I was going to say they were both Annapurna, weren't they?
Yes,
Are they both Annapurna? Yeah. Obviously,
they
anything they touch turns to bloody gold these days, anyway. So,
this just looks great. Ollie World. I mean, it's such a departure in art style from the other games. It's quite surreal, actually.
This is definitely one of my picks off the show as well. I really like the look of this one.
It looks wonderful. Yeah. I mean, the core gameplay of any of the Ollie games is like super tight and responsive, and it's just really fun. It looks like they've retained that, but just added like all of this wild art style and like these kind of junctures where you can go off and talk to people, and it's bonkers, really. It looks great.
And I think they even said in the trailer that if you wanted like the easy route and just wanted to enjoy watching the game scenery, then you could take that path. And equally, if you wanted a more difficult challenge, that was another path. I found that really cool, actually, kind of accommodating to all skill types and how people want to play the game.
Yeah, so I guess the one that's coming up now then is maybe the weirdest. Is that the fairest way to put it? The weirdest part of the show. Very quickly on Ollie World, actually. I haven't played any of the other games in that series. Are they worth checking out? Because I thought that looked pretty cool. I don't know how much of a departure from the other games it is.
No, I mean, gameplay wise, they're very similar to what was on screen. Ollie World clearly uses a bit more of the 3D of that world, whereas the others are very much 2D environments. But I think I've got them on Switch, and I think you can get a bundle on Switch of the first and second one, which is what I've got. So you can get them together and play them back to back and just select them. So yeah, definitely worth picking up, and they won't be a lot of money now either.
Cool.
And on the screen now, we have The Longing, which I think backstage before we went live, I think we all kind of agreed this one just looked very bizarre and strange. And it has this, well, we saw the wait 400 days, that's all you have to do. But then we very quickly realised, oh, that's actually 400 real-time days of doing tasks until that thing ticks down. And I don't know, I just feel like this is more of a glorified social experiment in a way. Although one of the things that I think they did say is that the time ticks even if you're not playing, or so assuming you've at least started the game. So I don't know. I can't see many people playing this for too long unless I'm completely missing something. But what I can see is people starting it, being intrigued, forgetting about it, and then opening it up almost accidentally, and then realizing, oh, I've only got 10 days left.
Yeah, the one thing I will give it is I am curious about what happens at the end of the 400 days at the very least. Like, I'd be at least curious enough where I'd want to maybe set the clock forward on my Switch by a couple of years just to try and trick it into thinking I've completed, just to see what happens. But yeah, it was the actual gameplay in there didn't really seem up my street, to say the least.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And as you say, if people moving the clocks forward, that was one of my first things I thought people would probably do as well, just to see what it looks like. And then you never know, it might be extravagant enough that maybe people want to play it, but who knows? And this game on screen now I found really cool as well. There is no game. And I know I don't know if this is based directly on it, but I know this kind of started as a mobile game, I believe, originally, or a browser title, of looking like there's no game, you're stuck on like a pause screen, and that was it. But it looks like there's a few little, like, I don't know, like platforming, Zelda-like elements in there. So very intriguing.
Yeah, I had like maybe kind of just like a selection of mini games, kind of like in a WarioWare type of deal. Maybe obviously there's a few different things in there. So sorry, look, I think you might be excited about this one, Matt.
Oh yeah, I think most people are excited about this. This is also the perfect game for Switch. This is one of those games that's just perfect for this system. And yeah, I mean, look at it. It just looks wonderful. So
it does, doesn't it? I love when developers use that sort of old art style, but really take full advantage of it, and they can just make it look so damn good. And it's published by the same people that published Streets of Rage 4 as well, which is obviously a fantastic sort of revisiting of an older franchise in a similar genre. So yeah, it does look awesome. This.
Yeah, I really can't wait for this either. This is also one of my main highlights. I think we all remember going to the arcade with friends and stuff and playing these pound after pound or whatever else.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only question I've got for this game, actually, which I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't have it. I just really hope it's got online co-op. Obviously it's designed to be played with 4 players. And if it doesn't have online co-op, that'll obviously make it quite tricky to maybe enjoy to its full extent. I had the same problem with Battletoads on the Xbox recently. I did play through, but that was another game where I felt, I really missed online co-op. But yeah, just otherwise, just look at it. Just look at it.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel that maybe it will only be local, but you never know. I'd like to be surprised and hope that they've at least thought of that ahead of time, that actually people might want to play online. So yeah, fingers crossed on that one. And this is another game, actually, which, like, the art style looks absolutely fantastic. But I think, as I've said on the previous show before, that I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based kind of tactics games like this. But what do you guys? Is this your kind of thing, guys?
Yeah, I really like the look of it. I've just there's actually a demo on Switch, which I've just downloaded, but I've not jumped into yet. So I think I'll get a better flavor of it once I play it. But it looks really, really, I mean, the art style's, really cool. And I do like kind of turn-based JRPG inspired games. So speaking of Japanese games, this one,
this is really cool as well. Yeah.
Yeah, this one looked. This is actually Konami making a video game.
Well. Yeah, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought that? Silent Hill, Metal Gear. Nah, let's remake this game from the 80s.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a remake of is it a NES game? Am I right? Or at least
I think so. NES game. Yeah, I mean, it looks lovely. It looks really cool. But it's just, again, it's kind of being so bizarre what they make.
Yeah, and weirdly, the only game on the show that isn't releasing in 2021, I think that was the only game that was for 2022. Everything else, which I thought was actually another cool element of the show, everything else was relatively soon. There was a couple of shadow drops, but everything, with the exception of that one, was a 2021 release. So not long to wait if you're interested in the vast majority of them.
Yeah, definitely. This game on screen now, this was also probably my number one highlight, which I really like the look of, and I'm really looking forward to this. Aztec Forgotten Gods. Definitely my kind of thing, almost like I don't want to quite say 3D platformer completely, because it looks like it's got a lot of beat 'em up elements in that as well in there, and like adventure kind of gameplay elements. But this one really took me by surprise. I've not seen this one before, if it is out on PC or anything, but I really like the look of this game.
Yeah, I'm the same, Pucks. I thought this looked fantastic. It sort of, just the art style looks great. It looks like the combat and the platforming elements is good as well. Sort of I think the setting is fantastic. So yeah, it's definitely one I'm going to be checking out. I'm just watching the video here as well. Just like some of the, like, there was a really cool movement mechanic there that he sort of used to sort of dodge and then get back into it. So I think there could be some really cool enemy designs with the setting that they've got as well. So yeah, I mean, just look at that. That's on a Switch.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, like, it's really impressive that the game looks that good on a Switch.
It looks like it's got like these really big kind of open worldy traversal parts of the game as well. As you say, like, for the Switch hardware, that's a lot of stuff being shown on screen at any one time. So super impressive. And it's coming fall 2021, so not too long to wait either.
Yeah. Oh, and then this was probably my highlight of the show. Then Skull. I did learn after the show that it's already out on PC at the moment. I think you can pick it up on Steam. But this is the first time I've actually come across this game. And actually, one of the things I really liked about the show, being a Korean developer, it felt like such an international show. There was it opened up, I think, with the French developers. There was obviously a Korean developer here. There was The Longing was from a German developer. Aztec, I think, was a Mexican developer. It was really cool just to see developers from all over the world come together on the one show. But yeah, this one was probably my favorite thing that they showed off, that I'm really looking forward to checking out. Yeah, there's just some really cool mechanics that they're showing off here, just with the way that combat works and the way that he uses his head to move in some cases, and the different forms he can take. And yeah, I mean, just this bit here, just the art style, the combat, the music, just everything sort of clicked for me on this game. So really looking forward to checking this one out.
It's
really cool. I was aware of this game, but as you just said, I mean, I wasn't aware that it was already out on some platform. So I've definitely missed out here. But for me, it definitely looks like a Switch game in my eyes. It's probably a game I would happily wait for to play on Switch personally.
Yeah, also coming to Xbox and PlayStation as well, by the way.
So, nice.
So yeah, I think that's supposed to be releasing around the same time. But it's definitely one of those games you look at and go, "That's a Switch game. That's perfect."
Yeah.
For Switch. So
yeah, 100%. I say, as Scott has already said, like, the art style, even though you can kind of tell it's almost partially simplistic pixel art in a way, but I don't know, the level of detail which is crammed into it, it just looks so good.
Yeah, that's what I love about those types of games. They can sort of take you back to sort of, it makes you feel nostalgic about the art style from, games from years past, but they just make it look so damn good with sort of modern techniques and sort of, just additional effects and stuff. Yeah, really, really cool.
It's just those small little tweaks here and there, isn't it? But it just somehow really transforms older style games on these new platforms.
Yeah.
And Art of Rally here I thought was quite nice to see coming to Switch, but like there's one that's seen right now where I think the whole point of Art of Rally was to try and take your breath away a bit by the scenery, but it almost looks like the Switch is limited in how much it can render in terms of the trees at any one time. So I was a little bit disappointed to see that, but I'm hoping that can be optimized in and those vistas you can kind of see in their full glory.
Yeah, I think with that one was one of the games shown at the ID at Xbox show. I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's coming to Game Pass. I think I'm right in saying that. Apologies if I've got that wrong, but that'll be a game I'll probably check out on Xbox. And one of the reasons is because of how it looks, and I kind of want to see it in its full full glory on Xbox on my TV rather than on my Switch, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We just kind of missed seeing it, but House of the Dead 1 remake has been announced as well. At least it's the first time I've heard of it on this showcase, and oh my god, I love the House of the Dead games. I remember spending too much money on the arcades playing all of these games, so I'm really hoping it has motion controls as well with the Joy-Cons to get that full experience.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's kind of got to, hasn't it? I guess in handheld it can use the sort of gyro, possibly. I do wonder how those types of games translate to sort of a more traditional console experience. But yeah, it's one of those games similar to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It just makes you remember the arcades and just spending countless of your parents' pounds trying to get through it. So yeah, looking forward to checking that one out. I'm not too sure if I'll pick it up immediately. It'll probably be one where if it goes on sale, I'll check it out just for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's not necessarily a day one purchase. I think we've got too many other fantastic games coming out. It's all going to go on the backlog, for better or worse. But I'll just see Indie Gamer in chat who's just said, yes, Art of Rally is coming to Game Pass, Indie confirms.
Cool. Thanks for confirming that, Andy. Yeah, so I think that's where I'll check out that game. Obviously, already have an Xbox as well, but the added benefit of obviously playing it in sort of its full glory, I guess.
Oh, and this is the final kind of shadow drop announcement right at the end. Just as we thought they were wrapping it up, they actually showed one more at the end. Oxenfree 2. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've not played the first one before, so this one doesn't really leave me too shocked to see it. But I was really impressed with what I saw. Like, graphically, I thought it looked fantastic. But I don't know what the gameplay's like.
It's I've got the first one on Switch, but I haven't actually finished it. I've played a fair chunk, I'd say. It's very really heavily narrative based, so there's a lot of kind of walking and talking and kind of smaller gameplay interactions. It's not a quote unquote gameplay focused game, right? But it's really well voice acted, really, really well voice acted, and the story's really cool. And as you said, visually, it's really, really cool setting as well. So I suspect I'll probably be more hyped for Oxenfree 2 if I finish the first one and I enjoy it. But it's an interesting one, and certainly the second one looked cool. It looked even a bit darker than the first one actually in terms of tone. So be interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, I've not had the pleasure of playing the first game. I know a lot of people are pretty excited about the second, which made me want to check out the first game. So I can't really talk too much about the sequel, except for it's got people excited. It's got people hyped. They almost had us at the end as well. Like for a moment, I thought, oh, they're not going to do one more thing at the end of this show. They kind of really dragged out, and then they're like, oh no, finally here it is. So it was cool
at the last minute.
Yeah, I did think it was happening, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh no, they're not. They're wrapping up here, and then They showed it off. So I think the first one has just left Game Pass, which is a bit of a shame because after this, I would have really liked to have checked it out, and then hopefully that would have got me excited for the second. But I think I'll check it out anyway, just based on people's reaction to it. A lot of people were pretty hyped on that game.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think a lot of people seem to really love the first one, really hyped for the second one. But I don't know about you guys. Just a little shameless plug here that I think a lot of us here were hoping it would be a Hollow Knight Silk Song reveal. I did have my fingers crossed, and they said, actually, we do have one more thing. As soon as it opened up, I thought, is this working? And then I saw the graphics, and I thought, no, it's not Silk Song.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people were really excited to see that. I mean, admittedly, I've not completed the first one. I've only played a couple of hours of it. Shame on me, I know. But I think really for Hollow Knight, I think it's no disrespect to any of these games, but I kind of get the feeling that Hollow Knight is bigger than an indie game showcase. I kind of think it sort of transcends this type of show and is almost more befitting of a larger E3 style showcase, which is maybe when we will finally see Silk Song. So obviously still a fantastic show without it, but I'm wondering whether they're just saving that for something that's got more eyes on it, that's maybe a bit bigger.
Yeah, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, and I think I agree with you there. I mean, even though I think the team is still only 3 to 5 people, if not a bit bigger now. Yeah, I think the game's got such a massive cult following that it's now kind of grown to such a magnitude that yeah, it kind of deserves its own, as you say, own reveal, own showing at maybe hopefully E3 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
If
think
you
that's,
just look, sorry, go on. Look, apologies.
no. I think that's quite realistic. I think as well. It feels to me it was probably announced a bit too early. They are only really small Team Cherry, so I think it's probably still a ways off. They want to do a heck of a lot of content for it, so whenever it does get properly revealed, it'll probably be quite a few minutes of stuff and a bigger update, rather than here where it probably would have only been a quick glimpse or something like that. So yeah, E3 definitely, I could see it.
Yeah.
All you had to do is look at the YouTube comments. I was watching on the Nintendo UK channel and just the YouTube chat. Like it was literally just Sure Silk Song. Sure Silk Song. That's all everybody was typing.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah. So
Silk Song.
it shows you just like how big that is. And, like I say, I kind of feel, they'll show that in a bigger showcase where you can get like a media sort of demonstration, where here would have been restricted to sort of a 30 seconds to a minute, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it kind of sounds like, in a way, the development of that game is almost like how the first one is. It kind of started off as a game jam, then it kind of expanded into to what it was, and then it gained that cult following. It expanded even more to the point they released it eventually. Then had the 5 different free to play DLCs for it, and obviously Silk Song's originally just DLC for this game, wasn't it? So I'm wondering if maybe it's kind of the product of scope creep, where, as you say, the expectations for this are just growing and growing. Maybe the developers themselves, Team Cherry, maybe think that, oh man, we've really got to deliver here, because so many people have got such high hopes for what this thing could and should be. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's interesting that it started as DLC and then just sort of grew into something so much bigger. One of the things I was hoping to see at the show, which something similar happened, was I was hoping we might get an update or maybe see a little bit of Katana Zero's DLC.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to that. But I think the developers recently posted a bit of an update where he said similar things. It started off as maybe a small piece of DLC, and it's kind of just grown and developed from there. And that's why it's taken him a little bit longer. He said it's still DLC, it's still free, so it hasn't gone fully Silk Song. But I think it's just one of those things. These developers of these small teams, they just maybe get into developing it and they just want to keep pushing it and making it bigger and better, and they're maybe never satisfied. But it's obviously great for us, because then we get sort of a much bigger and better experience, and probably more true to what the developer wanted to deliver.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Although, that is basically most of the content, actually. I think there was a few in the kind of shadow reel. Is that the right word for it? Right at the end, where one of the games, I know this has been out for a long time, but one, just very quickly, I know we're going to be wrapping up shortly, but Fez, I was quite pleasantly surprised to see coming to Switch, because this is a game I never owned it, but I remember playing bits of it way back when it first came out on the 360, I believe. So I think it looks like that's another game I think is a perfect candidate for Switch. And again, not a remaster or anything, it's the same game, but it's still obviously got that unique gameplay of being 2D, but you switch your dimensions 90 degrees to have new pathways and other stuff revealed to you. And I think this is also another game which is, again, it's not really been done since, I don't think. So I think this is also an interesting one to be bringing to Switch.
Sorry, you go on. Look, apologies.
No, it's fine. You go.
I was just gonna say, that Sizzle Reel contained a couple of cool little things towards the end, and there was literally like 2 or 3 seconds a game as well. It really didn't show an awful lot, because they showed off. I think it started with, was that the Sizzle Reel that started with Art of Rally and then went to Kiwi?
Yes, that's the one. Scissor Reel. That's what I meant.
The bit was like, I think it just popped in the chat there as well. Weaving Tides, which looked a bit weird, and then obviously the House of the Dead came in, and I think Fez was sort of towards the end of that. Now, I never played that originally either. Was that a 360 arcade title?
I think it was, if I remember rightly, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's a really great game. It's kind of one of the OG big indie games, kind of the Hollow Knight of its day, actually.
Yeah.
It kind of came out alongside like Super Meat Boy and that, didn't it?
Yeah. It's really fun. It's really fantastic. Really fantastic game. And again, made by essentially one guy. and yeah, I'd recommend playing it because it's just
Sweet.
cool.
Yeah, and one of the two, I think, shadow drops, which are always cool for these types of shows. You know, with it being an indie game, it's like, here's this game that we're going to release, and then it's like, boom, it's available today. I think Fez was one of them. I can't remember the name of the other one off the top of my head, but there was at least one other shadow drop, which is, you know, really nice to see. You know, you watch a show, you watch 20 minutes, and you're like, all right, I'm going to boot up my Switch and I'm going to pick that up. So yeah, I really like these types of shows when they've got those types of announcements as well.
Yeah, you're right there. Fez was one of them, but yeah, The Longing was the other one actually.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the other one? Maybe,
How could you
maybe
forget?
that's why I can't remember.
That was the other one. That was day of the showcase. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if there's nothing else from you guys, I think we'll start wrapping up the show there. Kind of briefly going through all of the announcements. I think we're all very much excited to see what came out. Excited to see what did come out of the show. Excited to, for these games to come out and give them a go. Especially the one on screen again now, Ollie Ollie World. I think this is one of the ones we've all said that we're really looking forward to getting our hands on and playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, really good show. You guys enjoy it?
Yeah, always. I always enjoy looking at these again as well when there's so many good games.
Yeah, it's always nice to have the opportunity to review them for a second time, isn't it? You know, you watch it first time, and especially when it's only 20 minutes, it goes past so quickly. Like the show absolutely flew by. So it's always good to have a chance to, you know, just reflect on what was shown and take it all in. So yeah, I really enjoyed the show as well.
Yeah, glad to hear it, guys. I say this is to those of you watching, 6 people watching right now. Thank you very much for tuning in. So this is one of the first times that we've actually done a small panel show based on a platform which is not Xbox, which is actually really kind of invigorating for us. We've all really enjoyed it, being given an opportunity to talk about a different platform. The 3 of us are big Nintendo fans, all own a Switch, love the platform, and yeah, this has been really good fun. And yeah, we are the. How do I do the outro, guys? Not really done this before. I've listened to it so many times, but now that I'm trying to say it in my head, it's a bit.
Yeah, I guess what do we need to plug, Pox? I think
let's see.
We probably need to plug this Sunday's podcast. Maybe would be one thing to plug, and then yeah, I think
that is a very good idea. So I believe we do actually have the topics, but I don't think they've been revealed yet on our Discord channels. If you'd like to see those, please join our Discord. There isn't a link in the description here yet, but I shall put one up there very shortly after this stream. And as Scott just said, yes, we do have our regular Sunday show with those topics I just said, which haven't been announced yet. So the 4 of us will be there then. I don't know yet if we have a special guest or not. If we, as and when I know, or when we do, I'm sure Flap or I will post that on the GPG Crew Twitter handle. But yes, outside of that, you can find us all on Twitter. This channel is obviously GPG_Crew. Join the Discord if you'd like to continue the conversation. And thank you all very much for listening. We shall see you all on Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your evening.